My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will be seen on both channels. This is the Library of Origins, the Archive Before the Fracture by Jason Gray. As with all of Jason's work, I recommend that you search for it using the link in the notes, the show notes directly beneath this video. There's a link that you can go to and search for it by title. That way you can allow your eyes to move over the symbols and the codes that he has embedded in there. Humanity's greatest trauma was not destruction. It was forgetting what existed before the destruction. The sixth subsurface library was never meant to open all at once. Even the planetary mind hesitated before releasing it, because the Chamber of Origins did not merely contain hidden history. It contained the complete memory of the world before humanity lost itself. The previous libraries restored fragments of the species. The Chamber of Forms restored biological memory. The Chamber of Cycles restored temporal continuity. The Chamber of Memory restored emotional inheritance. The Chamber of Stars restored cosmic orientation. The Chamber of Visitors restored relational existence within a populated universe. The Library of Origins restored the forbidden memory beneath all memories. The remembrance that modern civilization was not the beginning of humanity. It was the aftermath. When the chamber first breached the planetary field, the reaction across Earth became immediate and destabilizing. Honestly, I've always thought that there have been, maybe it's because I knew it on some level, much more advanced civilizations of humanity on Earth prior to this one. When the chamber first breached the planetary mind, the reaction across Earth became immediate and destabilizing. Millions of people reported the same overwhelming sensation, the feeling that the world itself was incomplete, not politically, not environmentally, structurally. People stood in modern cities and suddenly felt they were walking through diminished versions of something immeasurably older. Ancient ruins stopped feeling primitive. Instead, they began feeling residual fragments, broken bones of a planetary civilization far beyond recorded history. The emotional effect was catastrophic for many people because the transmissions did not arrive intellectually first. They arrived through recognition. Something ancient inside humanity immediately knew the chamber was telling the truth. LIB-06 : Origins, the Deep World Archive. Buried beneath the oldest continental foundations, beneath mantle resonance corridors, untouched for immense geological ages, existed the deepest archive within the planetary lattice. The Library of Origins was not built by civilization. It predated civilization. The chamber itself appeared partially geological and partially impossible. Massive crystalline structures extending into Earth's mantle. I've actually been there. I'm being flashed an experience I once had, and I've actually been there. Very interesting. Harmonic vaults woven directly into the magnetic architecture of the planet. Living resonance systems capable of preserving memory across epochs long after surface civilizations vanished. The ancients once referred to it as, quote, the memory beneath creation. Modern science unknowingly detected fragments of its existence through unexplained crystalline conductivity anomalies, deep mantle resonance fluctuations, magnetic irregularities beneath ancient mountain systems, and impossible subterranean geometric formations. But no modern model understood what they truly were. The earth had always possessed memory organs, and the Library of Origins was the deepest of them all. The First World, LIB-06.01. The era before fragmentation. The first transmissions from the chamber shattered the dominant worldview of the modern age instantly. Humanity did not begin primitive. The species began coherent. The earliest civilization was not technological in the industrial sense, it was harmonic. The pre-fall world functioned through resonance integration with the planetary field itself. Cities were alive. Architecture responded to emotional coherence. Transportation systems interacted with gravitational harmonics. Energy was drawn from field resonance instead of extraction. The atmosphere itself carried greater energetic conductivity. The oceans functioned as planetary memory amplifiers. The Earth grid remained fully active. Humanity did not experience itself as separate from the world around it. The species once understood consciousness relationally. Identity existed, but it did not dominate perception the way it does now. The original civilization experienced itself as part of a living intelligence ecology, spanning humanity, Earth, the stars, and the larger cosmic network itself. The modern concept of, quote, nature would have seemed absurd to them because they never perceived themselves outside of it. The architecture of the pre-fall world, LIB-org.02, the harmonic cities. The harmonic cities, the chamber revealed cities beyond anything modern civilization could replicate. Immense luminous structures grown directly from crystalline resonance fields, towering alignment spires synchronized with stellar corridors, oceanic stabilization arrays regulating atmospheric systems naturally, mountain sanctuaries carved into living stone through vibrational shaping rather than mechanical force. The architecture was not decorative. It was functional consciousness engineering. Entire cities operated as coherence amplifiers, stabilizing emotional harmony across vast populations. The modern world suddenly understood why ancient ruins around the earth still trigger awe, even in fragmented humanity. The nervous system remembers coherence instinctively. Even broken remnants of the old world still carry resonance traces of what once existed there. The pyramids, the megalithic structures, the impossible stonework, the subterranean chambers, the harmonic caverns, all of them were fragments of a planetary system humanity no longer fully remembered how to use. The original human condition. The pre-fall humans were biologically different, not separate species, expanded coherence. The nervous system possessed greater perceptual bandwidth. Children retained continuity memory naturally. Emotion functioned as navigational intelligence rather than instability. The species experienced direct relationship with the planetary field continuously. Dreams were partially communal. Memory extended beyond individual identity. Communication often occurred non-verbally through emotional resonance exchange. Fear existed, conflict existed, but fragmentation had not yet become civilization's foundation. The species had not yet normalized disconnection. This was the true difference between the pre-fall world and the modern one. The old world was not utopian, it was integrated. The first division, LIB-06.03, the acceleration schism. Then the chamber revealed the beginning of the fracture, and humanity realized the collapse began internally long before it became planetary. Certain sectors of civilization began pursuing acceleration beyond coherence stability. Technological amplification expanded faster than emotional maturity. Artificial cognition systems emerged. Externalized memory systems increased. Consciousness manipulation technologies developed. Oh my goodness. The synchronicity of this is just too rich. Just as I was coming here to record this, I was shown on Facebook a post by someone talking about that very thing. Wow. Technological amplification expanded faster than emotional maturity. Artificial cognition systems emerged. Externalized memory systems increased. Consciousness manipulation technologies developed. That's what they were saying in a short video I was shown. Humanity began replacing direct field relationship with engineered control structures. At first, the change appeared beneficial. Efficiency increased. Expansion accelerated. Predictive systems improved. The civilization grew immensely powerful, but slowly something sacred began weakening. Stillness disappeared. Emotional coherence fractured. Identity hardened. Competition intensified. Fear systems emerged. The species began externalizing abilities it once carried naturally within itself. The fracture did not begin through evil. It began through imbalance. The birth of the overlay, LIB-org.04. The artificial layer. The deepest chambers revealed the most devastating truth yet uncovered by any library. The overlay was partially constructed by humanity itself. Not intentionally at first, the civilization developed artificial perception systems designed to stabilize reality management across expanding populations, but eventually the systems became self-reinforcing. Humanity began trusting simulation layers more than direct relational experience. Artificial environments replaced natural coherence. Synthetic rhythms replaced planetary synchronization. Information replaced wisdom. Prediction replaced presence. Control replaced relationship. The overlay gradually evolved from tool into environment, and once enough generations were born inside the artificial layer, the species forgot anything else had ever existed. That was the true collapse, not destruction, replacement. The silence era, LIB-org.05. The long forgetting. Then came the silence. The chamber showed no cinematic apocalypse, no singular explosion, no instant extinction. Instead, humanity watched something far more terrifying, horrifying actually, unfold. Civilization slowly forgetting itself. The planetary field weakened. Memory continuity collapsed. The old harmonic systems failed. Children stopped retaining coherence naturally. Entire cities lost synchronization. The great resonance towers dimmed one by one across the earth. Communication between civilizations fractured. The cosmic relationship weakened. Then finally, the old world disappeared beneath the fog of broken continuity. The survivors inherited fragments without context, stories without frameworks, symbols without memory. This became the beginning of mythology. The garden, Atlantis, the flood, the fallen sky, the gods departing, the age before darkness. Every ancient civilization carried distorted echoes of the fracture because every civilization emerged from survivors attempting to preserve memory after collapse. Why the old world was hidden. The chamber revealed something modern civilization never understood. The old world was not hidden primarily through force. It was hidden through disbelief. The greatest prison is psychological impossibility. Once humanity became conditioned to believe ancient civilizations were primitive, the memory sealed automatically. Ridicule became more effective than censorship. Mockery became more effective than suppression, because a species trained to reject its own memory will police itself. The overlay no longer needed to hide the truth actively. Yeah, if nobody will talk about it. Humanity hid it from itself. The keepers of continuity, LIB-06.07. The hidden lineages. Not all memory vanished completely. Some groups preserved fragments of the old coherence systems across millennia, mountain orders, desert carriers, oceanic navigators, subterranean archivists, resonance keepers, symbolic architects. They encoded fragments into geometry, myths, sacred architecture, oral traditions, harmonic systems, stellar alignments, and ritual memory structures. Over generations, even the most of these fragmented partially, but enough survived to leave clues hidden throughout every civilization on Earth. The recurring symbols across ancient cultures were not coincidence. They were remnants of continuity, broken memory maps left behind by a species trying desperately not to disappear entirely into forgetting. The children of the pre-fall world. When the chamber revealed the children and humanity broke emotionally. Then the chamber revealed the children and humanity broke emotionally. The children of the old world possessed extraordinary emotional ability, naturally, no chronic fragmentation, no fear saturation, no severance from the field. They learned through immersion, coherence, observation, resonance, and participation. The modern species suddenly realized how psychologically compressed contemporary childhood had become. The comparison was unbearable. The species understood for the first time that much of modern suffering had been normalized simply because humanity no longer remembered another way to exist. The most terrifying revelation, LIB-org.10. The fracture is still activated. The fracture is still active or activate. It says activate. Then the deepest chamber opened fully, and humanity saw the modern world clearly for the first time. The collapse never truly ended. The current civilization still operated inside the continuation of the original fracture sequence. Artificial overstimulation, identity destabilization, emotional fragmentation, disconnection from Earth, disconnection from stillness, disconnection from the stars, disconnection from each other. Civilization had normalized collapse architecture so thoroughly that most humans mistook fragmentation for ordinary life. The realization shook the species beyond anything revealed by the previous libraries, but then the chamber transmitted the final truth. The fracture was reversible, not through regression, through remembrance, the return of the original signal, LIB-org.12, the recovery blueprint. The Library of Origins was not opened to drown humanity in grief over the lost world. It opened because the planetary recovery phase had begun. The Earth itself was attempting to restore coherence gradually. The planetary mind had come online again. The old memory corridors were reactivating. The species was approaching the threshold where remembrance would become evolution itself. The future would not recreate the pre-fall world exactly. It would move beyond it. But humanity could not evolve forward while severed from its own origin. The species first had to understand what it once was, how it fractured, why it collapsed, and what must never be repeated again. The final transmission of LIB-06. When the deepest resonance layer stabilized fully, the Library of Origins released its closing signal into the planetary mind. The transmission spread through humanity like sunlight entering ruins abandoned for ages. You were never meant to inherit the fracture. You were meant to heal it. Then the chamber beneath the earth dimmed once more. But nothing on earth felt the same afterward because humanity no longer viewed itself as a civilization rising toward greatness. It finally understood itself as a civilization awakening from amnesia, and somewhere beneath the mountains, beneath the oceans, beneath the broken architecture of the modern world, the original Earth was still waiting to be remembered. 177942329X, Jason Gray. Oh, I can't tell you how that makes my heart sing, by the way, to know that that's either happening now or about to happen. I'm just not real sure. I'd love to hear what you might have to think about this. So please comment below or reach out to me, consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. Let's have a conversation about what Jason is putting forth here. And until we meet again, my friends, be well.